A few things to check on your assembly. One is to zoom in on your finger joints and look that the joints are made very cleanly. You should see, no matter how far you zoom in, that it's just one line. If you start to see two lines appear, or a ledge or something like that, that would indicate that there's some kind of a mismatch, of course, and that's usually due to a dimension. Either the thickness of the part was not extruded correctly, or that it doesn't match what the finger joint sketch was. So check those things. After the last video, I'm not showing it just because you already know how to do this. I've already put a second design on the side, and now I'm going to show how to work with the top. So we'll go to the top, which is now just a plate. First thing I like to do is put a handle on it. So I'm going to extrude a small base on this, and I think it's that surface. Okay, so for glue area, I would suggest a reasonably large stem for your handle. 0.2 is what I've been using, and that seems to work well. Okay, smart dimension. Let's get that one to be 0.2. And let's now extrude that. And we're going to extrude that the thickness of our material, which is still 0.11. Blind is fine. Okay, that's the stem of the handle. And now we're going to extrude a handle itself. So this will be on top of that. So now we're clicking on this surface, and we're going to make a slightly larger circle. It doesn't take much larger in order for it to be something you can grab. I've been using 0.3, and that seems to work fine. And we're going to extrude that. Exit sketch. 0.11 is in there. Blind. And now we have a small handle. So we'll need to move these parts when we export it to DXF, but at least we have a visual representation of what it's going to look like. In terms of the design on the top, I'm going to show another technique of borrowing a sketch from another part. So you can do this. I spent quite a while getting that front pattern the way I wanted it. So that particular leaf right there took me quite a long time to be happy with. And since I already have a different design on the side face, I can reuse this one. So the way we can reuse it is we're going to reuse the sketch. So I'm going to right click on that sketch, or excuse me, I'm going to just click on it, and I'm hitting Control C to copy it. And that's probably under the edit menu as well. Let's see if I click that and then edit. Yes, you can copy like that. That's now in the clipboard as a sketch. And SolidWorks will understand that if I go to the top, I can now paste this as a sketch onto the top. So it brought the center line with it, and you can see there it is as a sketch. Now sometimes it might not paste it on the surface you want. For example, this one did come in the plane I wanted. Sometimes when you paste, it might come in on that plane, for example, and the question is how to redo that. So let me show that briefly. So I'm going to right click on that sketch, and then you go to this, Edit Sketch Plane. It's super easy. It says select the sketch plane. Well, instead of that one, I'm going to put it there. Now, of course, we don't really want it there, but I'm just showing how it would work. And if I check that, now it's on that plane. Okay, so I'm going to undo that. I'm hitting Control Z. Those just to show you how to do it in case you need to do it. Let's go into that sketch, get rid of the center line, and I will also move it where I need it to go. So I'm getting rid of that because I don't need that. Let me move this so I can do a circular pattern around the center. So let me go to the view that will be best. I think it's that view, the other one, that view. So I'm bringing this down around there. Now it's going awfully far to the edge. Just to my aesthetic, that's a little big, so I'm going to shrink this. So I'm going to select those lines. And you can remember the sketch tools. You can go Tools, Sketch Tools, and then all of these right here. Scale is the one I'll be using. The most commonly used ones are also right, excuse me, let me select that again, are also right here. So move, copy, move you can just do by click and drag. Copy, I usually use Control C and Control V, but rotate, scale, those are often needed and they're accessible right here. So we're going to scale this about, let's see, it already found the splines. Scale about what point? Well, I want that to be a fixed point and shrink from there. And 0.9, that actually looks about right. So I'm going to say check. Okay, now we're going to rotate this around the center. And I have two ways of doing it. I could do it within the sketch here as a circular sketch pattern. I'm going to do it in the one level up. So first I'm going to extrude this. Now so far it's just a sketch, so let me exit this sketch. But you don't have to create the sketch after you click the button up here, the feature button. You can create the sketch. I'm going to select it, then I'm going to hit extruded cut, and it will know to populate the feature with that sketch. So we're going to go through all, and I'm going to take a look at that. Okay, so now I've cut through the top with that. And my next step is to pattern that around. So I'm going to do a circular pattern. And this is for the top, this kind of pattern often looks very nice. So this, it's looking for the pattern axis. Now I don't have an axis, but it's smart enough that if I just click this circle, it will understand that there's an axis associated with that. And instantly I have a pattern all the way around. It might not have 360 as the default. You may need to plug that in. It might have like 60, which would of course would look something like that. So I'm going to go back to 360, which is all the way around. You could do 180. That might look nice as well. And then you can try different numbers for the amount of patterning. So here's 4. And just keep trying numbers until you like the way it looks. And that'll of course depend on what you are patterning. It helps if whatever you're patterning is mostly a radial line. You know, if this line were highly curved, it's more likely to run into the next one. So 10, 11, 12, and 12 looks good to me. 13, and you can go denser, but that's getting a little busy to me. I'm going to go back to 12. Okay. Okay, so now I've got a pretty easily accomplished pattern on the top that looks nice. Now, how we hold our lid or top to the rest of the box is a question. There's two ways to do it. I'll show the first way now, and that is to put blocks on here. So I'm going to do a boss. Okay, I'm going to do a box. And arbitrarily, I'm going to make this, let's say, 0.4 by 0.4, and you could alternatively just set these equal to each other. And then I want to make it a certain distance away from the edge. So go back to Smart Dimension. There to there, I want that distance to be 0.11. That's the thickness of my part. And I also want the distance from here to here to be 0.11, the thickness of the part. Okay, we're going to exit that. It's going to extrude it 0.11. That's the thickness of the part again. And that's going to help the lid to stay nicely in place. Now you're wondering, well, don't I need 3 more? Yep. So let's do those. And I'm going to do those with a mirror feature. And this will show some of the handy ways of having those planes in the middle, which we're going to see in a bit. So I pre-select that so it'll populate what I want to. It's already populated that. Now it's looking for a mirror face or plane. You could use a plane like that. That would of course go around here. We want a plane down the middle. Since I've made this rectangle centered at the middle, I've already got a plane there. So I use the little plus here, And now I see, is it that one? No, it is that one. So I click that plane, and there it is. Piece of cake. Okay, so the first boss is the left one, the mirror is the right one. Now I'd like both of those to be down here. Well, let's mirror again. So I'm going to pre-select these so they populate. Do one and the other. Then we're going to do mirror. And now we want the plane through here. So it's that one, the front plane. And there it populated, and there they are. All right. So that is our two mirrors, and now we have a lid that's ready to assemble. I mean, truly you didn't have to make these to assemble it, and you don't have to put them there. For laser cutting, we could put them anywhere. But this shows what the lid will actually look like, which is nice. So now let's assemble that lid. Let me save it first. Okay, let's go to the assembly, and we're going to insert the top, and there it is. And now we're going to mate that. So I couldn't, now that I have these, I could, if I wanted to, mate that surface to the inside surface, and if it comes out correctly, that will tell me that I made the offsets correctly. I'm going to do that just as a double check on my work. So there to there, and similarly I'm going to mate that surface. Oh, I forgot to hit the green check like I always do. In Creo you don't have the green check, and so I'm not used to it. To there, and last we're going to do the bottom surface there to, oh, once again, okay, there to there. Okay, and so what I want to do as a check on my work is to see that this is a line, and it is, and that means that the two parts fit with good accuracy, and that there's no mismatches. Okay, so that would be kind of the standard way of making the box. And in another short video, I'm going to show how to do the lid with a little cutout feature.